Alright, so I'm going to play this fight for you between blue and green one time through at normal speed. Go ahead and try to take a close look at everything I'm doing. I know it goes pretty fast, but then we're going to go back through in slow motion and break everything back down.
Chicken shitted. I don't know where they went. Come on. Chase these greens that are in here. There's blue. Hold here, hold here, hold here. Big stab. Go to the right. Now into the tide. T-bone. Good job. Stabbing again, stabbing again. County cleansing right here in front of me. Ooh, get out of that. Dodge back. Two times, two times, two times, two times. Get our buddies up. Good job. Good recovery. And to the left. Watch out. We got green coming behind us now. Move forward through them. Through them and turn around. Lines behind us. Lines behind us. All right. Push forward to green. Fuck them. Chicken shit's trying to T-bomb us while we're fighting. Good job. Kill him. Now up the ramp, up the ramp, up the ramp. Bomb on top of the ramp again. Oh. Good job. Hold here. Stack in here. Stack in here. Just enjoy it. Nothing too big now. Nothing too big. Nothing too big. Just all right. Now push back on this group. Give me all you got right here. There we go. Run them over. Choo choo. Choo choo, bitches. Pardon me, boys. That's the Chattanooga choo choo. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Alright, so running it back, starting off this fight, I thought it was going to be a ranged fight from the beginning, so I went ahead and switched to my hammer, which was okay because we were out of combat, so it didn't proc the 10-second cooldown. I started off with hammer 5, and then I went to hammer 2. Generally, you want to do hammer 2 and then hammer 5, but because I had quickness, this went ahead and landed hammer 2 just before hammer 5 hit, recharging hammer 2. I went ahead and procced some more quickness with my scavenger's burst. I went ahead and landed a hammer 3 and then another hammer 2. And then I see that the commander is starting to push towards the group that is further away, at which point I dodged to cleave some of the downs and give myself the 15% damage increase. Now when I see the commander pushing, I go ahead and I switch to my greatsword, and I use my greatsword 3, as you can see there, to gain some ground towards the enemies, and I use my greatsword 2, all with my mini hammers activated, to greatsword 5 to cleave all those downs. Now as you can see, my damage boost is about to wear off, so I go ahead and dodge again, not prioritizing it for damage, but prioritizing it for the boost that it gives. Now back up to normal speed while we get to the next fight. As you can see, I threw a road down here because I thought that green might attempt some pulls over the edge. And here we come up on blue. Alright, so as you can see here, starting off the fight with blue, I actually make a little bit of a mistake because I did not anticipate blue's push. I was still in combat and I swapped to my hammer right at the beginning, which gives me a 10-second cooldown for my greatsword. I proc my scavenger verse, which gives me quickness. I use my hammer 5 to CC some of the backline, and when I see them pushing, I use my hammer 3 instead of my hammer 2 to give me all of those evades to get out of all of that damage. Now when I see the commander pushing, I start to push with him. Dodge one time, and I use that dodge actually to get out of some of the damage. The second dodge was to give some damage. Now I switch to dwarf and I try to throw down my roads, but I get stunned before I can do that. So I try to regroup with the commander. Now I activate my hammers because there are a ton of enemies around us. I'm still on cooldown with my big hammer, not my mini hammers. Waiting for that, I activate my energy meld to give me from 50 to 75 energy, and now I get CC'd one more time. Once I get back up, I swap to my greatsword. Still, mini hammers are going the entire time, even if you are CC'd. Regroup with the commander. Mini hammers still going. As you can see, I still have 70 energy because there are so many enemies around us. I prioritize greatsword 5, which does tons of damage in the area. Commander is moving, so I continue to move with him. At this point, blue is back where they started behind us. I throw down a road, just in case they decide to do some pulls, and I toggle off my mini hammers so that I can gain some more energy. Now the commander begins to push again. I dodge, proccing my damage boost. I go ahead and use my Greatsword 4 to mitigate some of the damage with the push. I start my mini hammers back up again as we're pushing. As you can see, my energy starts to slowly drop. And now I target the middle of the group right near the commander with Greatsword 3. And as you can see, it does tons of damage. Use Greatsword 2, does tons more damage. And just keep those mini hammers going. That's where all of that damage is coming from right now. And then just 1 with your greatsword. Try to stand back from some of the enemies because you can hit up to 5 people at the same time, as you can see I'm doing right there. Energy meld is back up, so I use my energy meld, which gives me another 25 energy. I can continue my mini hammers for this fight. And as you can see, we have pretty much broken the enemy completely. We're going ahead and finishing the last few downs. The commander is pulling out of the enemy bubble. Now we're regrouping, finishing the last of the downs. My Greatsword 5 is back up, so I go ahead and use that to cleave the last few downs around me. As you can see here on the far left, it has a pretty wide range, hitting 2 of those downs to my left. I go ahead and swap to hammer. I use my hammer 2, my hammer 3 to get some damage on those guys. Now this is one of the things with hammer 3 you have to be careful with. If the commander starts pushing, you can find yourself falling behind. So I go ahead and I swap back to my Luxon stance. I use my Scavenger's Burst up ahead to give me some quickness, and then I use my Nomad's Advance to gain some ground back up to the commander. I go ahead and use my hammer 5 again, which recharges my hammer 2. I dodge on those enemies for the damage boost and some damage. I go ahead and I use my Scavenger's Burst again for more quickness, and I use my hammer 2, and now I'm just about out of energy in Luxon. Luckily, there are no skills in there that drain the energy constantly. And I'm still on cooldown for my dwarfs, so I'm kind of holding tight. I switch back to Greatsword, and I use my Greatsword 3 with some of the energy that I've gained. And I use my Greatsword 4 as a block since I found myself overextended with Greatsword 3. Now Dwarf Stance is back up, and I use the repost on the Greatsword 4. I swap to Dwarf Stance. I immediately throw down a road because of all the damage we're taking. I immediately activate my F2 energy meld to give me 25 more energy, and then I start my mini hammers and a dodge. Now always remember with Vindicator, you want to prioritize your dodge to get the damage boost from that dodge before your attacks if possible. If you can prioritize them both at the same time and get damage from it and your damage boost, then that's the ideal situation, but it's not always possible. Now as you can see here, we only have a few downs left. I go ahead and I dodge, and we cleave them all. Now we're pushing back into green to finish the last few of the downs here. I get CC'd, which gets broken. Now my Greatsword 3 is back up, so I use that to close some distance. I use my Greatsword 5, and I activate my mini hammers again. And then I give it another dodge, and we just cleave the last few downs out here. And as you can see, if you look at the Arc DPS window in the top right center-ish of my screen, the DPS speaks for itself.